All right. Okay, everything looks good. Hello, everyone, and now welcome to a game between, I believe this is 120 versus Moon. Yeah, it does look like it is going to be 120 versus Moon here on Northern Isle. There are observers, so I don't have to turn off Fog of War. And this game did come, well, recommended from the replay site, so hopefully you guys do enjoy it. For all of you guys who are first time tuning in, thank you very much. Hopefully you hit the subscribe button, like button, well, for all the viewers out there, as it definitely does make me a little bit more relevant in this casting day and age. Everything seems to be based on trying to get more people to click on a hyperlink so that, you know, you get a little bit more views. Your advertising dollars at work. Yeah, everyone just trying to get people to go to their particular website. And, well, I thank you for doing that. I feel like I'm actually adding to the problem. Now that I talk about it a little bit out loud, I'm like, well, at least my content out there is for people who want to consume it. Hopefully it doesn't reinforce any sort of biases or internet hate. But then again, well, there might be an anti-Night Elf campaign out there currently going on. Anyways, Moon most likely going to be going for a Keeper of the Grove. Yes, he is. So it is going to be a Keeper of the Grove coming in from Moon, everyone's favorite hero to love and or hate at this point. He's almost like the Tom Brady of the WarCraft 3 world. If you don't know what that means, well, I'm not going to explain it to you because this video is far too short and we should be focusing on WarCraft 3 instead. Archer will be popping on out, fire an arrow at the Ogre Magi, at which point the Ancient of War will then be taking some serious damage, as we can take a look at the Ancient of War now absorbing that damage here. Ogre Magi coming across as well, double wisp all the way, trying to come across as an Acolyte does make its way over. Now, Acolytes do regenerate better on Blight, but that has been a pretty recent development as of late, as the Ogre Magi will end up getting taken down here. Ogre Magi will get the, well, Keeper of the Grove will get that killing blow. Acolyte most likely going to be looking for any sort of experience steal. Meanwhile, the Death Knight doing some heavy creeping, using even a Death Coil to try and finish off an Ogre Warrior. I believe it, or it could have been a Death Coil to heal one low hit point Ghoul. As you see, all the units are now currently backing away. Death Knight now wandering back across here, may be able to get to level 2, or is it just going to be just a little bit shy? Let's take a look at it. There, yeah, just a little bit shy, 196 over 200. Meanwhile, the Keeper of the Grove, did the Acolyte steal that bit of experience? The Acolyte might have gotten the kill there. That was a 5-4-3, or yeah, a 5-4-3 creep camp cleared out by Moon, and Moon did not level up from it. Meanwhile, the Death Knight looked like it was very close to level 2, even though it just cleared a 5-3-2. Just watching you on YouTube when the notification email arrived. Thank you, Zin Apollos. I forgot I was even streaming on Twitch for a moment. Alright, Keeper of the Grove, Death Knight now battling it out. Unholy Aura going to let that Death Knight chase a lot more freely, as you take a look. Skeletal minions now trying to run away from these forces of nature. Alright, Ghoul is now coming out to engage Keeper of the Grove. Is it going to try to perhaps get a couple of entangles and some free kills? Let's take a look at that. A little bit of that, well, bird flies damage. As you can see, the Keeper of the Grove pushing damage onto that Ghoul. Meanwhile, Death Knight still wandering around here. Those forces of nature is still backing off. Watching some more while playing through the Frozen Human campaign. Yeah, I think I will be doing a reforge. Oh, Death Knight. No, Death Knight, come on. Where's the Death Coil? Are we going to get a Death Coil right there? You can take a look. There's the Death Coil to try and save it, but the forces of nature are right there. The timing could have been a little bit faster on the uptake. The cooldown from that Death Knight, actually the problem right there, as another Death Coil comes across to try and save here. Moon already coming with the quick pressure, but some friendly fire denying some experience onto that Keeper of the Grove once more, as the Keeper of the Grove may try to use a Potion of Greater Mana, or may decide to wait a little bit later. I do plan on playing through the campaign. For all of you guys who are wondering, I am excited about the WarCraft 3 Reforged release. Hopefully they figure out a little bit of the balance right now, as well. WarCraft 3 is a great game that still perhaps has a lot of longevity to it if they can properly balance the overall game. Now, Ghoul is now looking to back up here. Skeletal Minion is going to be coming back out. Null Overseers, well, trying to fight against those skeletal minions. You're trying to just maximize the amount of damage being dealt to your non-permanent units. Death Knight looking to clear out this double Null Overseer creep camp. 2 level 5 creeps. Going to pick up a Tome of Knowledge. This low hit point Ghoul should be heading back. Meanwhile, the Death Knight, well, with a Tree of Life and an army of archers ready to move on out. All right, Keeper of the Grove has a Ring of Regeneration, one of my personal favorite items, as it is useful even out of combat. Unlike, say, Claws of Attack +6, Ring of Protection, or anything like that, it's only effective while you're actually engaging against your opponent. Meanwhile, Death Knight gets in a serious denial right there. Meanwhile, Keeper of the Grove gets to level 3. Maybe we may end up having level 2 Force of Natures now, as an additional tree does add in a lot more damage and puts a lot of pressure on Crypt Fiends. As we transition now into a Slaughterhouse, no big surprise there. Meanwhile, Ghouls are on Blight, regenerating all of those lost hit points now, as the Death Knight gets to level 3. How did he get that last bit of experience? I don't quite see how he got it on the map right there. But, well, we know he got it, as the Death Knight now sits at level 3 with level 1 Unholy Aura, level 2 Death Coil most likely. 9 times out of 10, it is in fact that. Tree of Ages, no Nature's Blessing upgrades. We are going now into Ancients of Wind. Hippogriff Riders seems to be the strategy as of late, and it works out fairly well. Hippogriff Riders can mount and dismount. It is the natural transition away from that massive archer army, which can be very, very effective. Death Knight still trying to wander around there, and you can take a look. The Death Knight is trying to get some kills onto some of those Wisps as the Entangled Goldmine just now finishes up. Meanwhile, back down to the south, Goblin Alchemist has joined in on the fight. He's picked up the Ring of Regeneration, as that Ring of Regeneration will regenerate 2 hit points each. All right, there's a detonation. Lich shows off to the side here. Are we going to see perhaps some detonation? Just you are. Entangled Goldmine will get taken down. Scroll of Town Portal now being used, as all the units are now simply just running for the hills. 1 low hit point Ghoul. Is it going to end up surviving? Yes, it will. Back on Blight and under the effects of Unholy Aura and, well, the Acid Bomb coming to an end.
Player's forces are under attack.
Death Knight Lich, level 3, level 1 coming in from 120. Meanwhile, Moon making his way out across the map. Alchemist will get to level 2 off of this creep camp here, as the Keeper of the Grove decides to disengage. We are looking at an economic advantage coming in from Moon, but he is losing precious time on this Entangled Goldmine, as he has not, got a large amount of gold as of yet. It looks like he hasn't mined anything. Still 10,000 gold in that gold mine here. I believe it is it the same as this? No, it's the same as this one right here. So yeah, 10,000 gold. Or do I need to, 10,000 gold. So that means that he has not mined a single piece of gold out of this mine yet, even though we saw a Wisp jump inside there a little bit earlier. Lich out onto the field. Orb of Corruption trying to finish off things. Meanwhile, Archer's going to show up here. Perfect timing in order to gain sight of all of this, as the Hippogriff is up in the air. There you see an Entangle. Poor Ghoul may get taken down once more, as the Death Knight waiting for a Death Coil. Nope, not going to be able to do it. Is going to be able to finish off the unit. I believe that was another deny. 120 microing that deny absolutely perfectly, as the Skeletal Minions now head back off to the north.
A player's forces are
All right, Acid Bomb coming across. Null Overseer losing all of that precious armor, as the Hippogriff Riders, turning that Null Overseer into a negative armor pincushion, getting taken down very quickly. Meanwhile, Cyclone picking up the Death Knight. No destroyers as of yet, so the window of opportunity to use that Wand of Wind is going to close quickly. Meanwhile, one quick Crypt Fiend with Web able to shut down one Hippogriff Rider. That is a very big deal indeed. A 5 supply unit being lost this early in the game will fuel or funnel more experience to the Lich and that Death Knight, which ends up causing more problems later on. Hippogriff Rider is now looking to move back. You take a look, Force of Nature is coming across here, as you see another big dive onto that Entangled Goldmine once more. Wisp are out to try and do a bit of damage, or sorry, to recover a bit of that damage. There's a detonation. I don't know if the Lich was able to back off in time. Meanwhile, well, skeletal minions are all scouting out and is going to see this army here. All right, in comes the damage from all of those Hippogriff Riders. However, the Keeper of the Grove could have a bit of problem. Death Coil, Frost Nova, Staff of Preservation saves him as it was transferred to that Alchemist. Alchemist now going to be forced to back up here. However, one Hippogriff Rider will get taken down as a Death Coil heals. All right, Keeper of the Grove is out of the fight, at least for now, until it can drink plenty of Moonwell juice. Has a Moonstone. Going to go ahead and use that and a Clarity Potion, as you have seen a lot of damage being absorbed now by that Tree of Life. Tree of Life dangerously low on hit points. Going to get some repair and get in there in a hurry as another quick web tries to take down some units. A big Frost Nova hitting down many of those units as another Hippogriff Rider getting taken out. We are looking at the Fairy Dragons with that Mana Flare, but that has not been used as of yet. Meanwhile, more damage still being done across here as the Alchemist tries to sit in that frontline location. Death Knight, is he going to get a Death Coil? No Death Coil as the Crypt Fiend is running for the hills. Let's take a look. Beautiful body block. Alchemist is actually a little bit too far as the Death Coil comes across here. All right, Crypt Fiend. Chemical Rage. Oh, another body block. Is it going to be enough? Death Knight, Crypt Fiend, Ghoul. What is happening here? Death Knight gets into harm's way. This Crypt Fiend down to 41 hit points. And that Death Coil looked like it hit the wrong unit. 120, I would have thought would have been able to save it, but it actually tried to save a different unit. I don't know if that unit was actually that low on hit points, but it didn't seem like that was the problem. Death Coil actually a split second late there, as that ends up being a problem. Instead of saving your unit with 400 hit points, you waste 75 mana with a ill-timed Death Coil. All right, 120, trying to figure out what his follow-up play is going to be. You take a look, a couple of Crypt Fiends are out onto the field. Those illusions make this army look much larger than it really is. And all of a sudden, is Moon going to realize what is happening here? All right, let's take a look back, double back around. Let's see, Crypt Fiends, oh, quick detonations, and that is going to quickly reveal what is going on. All right, microing those low hit point Crypt Fiends, that is actually a very, very sneaky play. Death Knight, is he going to get a Death Coil off? Yes, he does, as the units are now looking to back up again. I believe that detonation was just to remove mana from the Obsidian statues, and that Lich getting free damage to reveal those Crypt Fiends was actually a bit of bonus, as Moon now chases after all of those units. No Frost Nova, as I've seen. Crypt Fiend not looking to back up, as you see a quick turnaround once more. Destroyer trying to get in some additional damage here as the mana flaring Fairy Dragons try to eat away at those Obsidian statues. Crypt Fiends, all right, another Acid Bomb coming through. Is going to be able to head back through. No, it is not. I believe the entangled or webbed down Fairy Dragon actually blocking the path of that Crypt Fiend. All right, more damage still coming across here. Units are still in a bit of a chase. 45 supply compared to 51, still battling it out as a Fairy Dragon does get taken down. Destroyers are all here showing up to the party. Fairy Dragons, however, the perfect counter to the Destroyers, piercing damage and immune to magic, as the Destroyers are just devouring all of those yummy forces of nature. All right, however, the Destroyers are going to get poked down themselves. You have to be careful there. Keeper of the Grove down to 239 hit points. Death Knight with Death Knight trying to chase after here. It looks as though, no, the Ring of Regeneration was not transferred over. Meanwhile, though, there is a lot of units in the air. And what is going on here? This mass Fairy Dragon army is starting to hold a little bit of a place here. Let's take a look. An Alchemist could be in trouble. Death Coil, Frost Nova, Chemical Rage. It looks as though the Chemical Raging Alchemist is going to be able to get away. No more Frost Nova to slow things down, as this Forest Troll High Priest will get finished off. Moon able to regroup after that battle, and we're going to see that Forest Troll High Priest get taken down. Destroyer ready to head back over here to the top right. Alchemist is sitting at level 3. The economic advantage of Moon is starting to grow into a larger army advantage. I believe 120 has been trading more efficiently, but still has not been able to get the lead. Fairy Entertainment, really appreciate you casting so many games on Twitch. However, I think you should tell us more about the in-depth strategies instead of casting play-by-play. Yeah, I've heard that critique, and I do agree. The in-depth strategies on what is being used. If this wasn't a real-time strategy game, it would be easier to compose my thoughts and do exactly that. The Fairy Dragons and this anti-air army just counters because there's not going to be enough Crypt Fiends to actually be able to web anything down. Anytime you force your opponent to try and mass up one unit to counter what you currently have, you end up setting yourself into a situation where your opponent can easily counter your mass single unit as well. All right, Fairy Dragons are right here. Let's take a look at this. Destroyers are up in the air. Acid Bomb, and now Fairy Dragons completely webbed back down. This is going to split up the army just a little bit, but you have to move away from the actual fight in order for that actual split up to be useful. These Fairy Dragons in the backfield here, they were not engaging, but without a higher level of Unholy Aura to be able to move and reposition, webbing them down just simply didn't last long enough. Obsidian Statues now trying to head back once more. 46 supply compared to 59. Moon still with that advantage. As you can take a look, the Hippogriff Riders, even without weapons upgrade damage, dealing so much damage here. Hippogriff Riders chasing after the Destroyers. Destroyers, even with armor upgrade, unable to deal with this this massive army here. Lich does have a potion of lesser invulnerability. Alchemist still chasing after here, that -1 armor. Meanwhile, Wisp with the detonation removing some key mana again. Destroyers unable to easily fight back here as the Fairy Dragons are still causing massive problems. The economic advantage has really taken a hold now. Moon has gotten about 4,000 gold from that gold mine, even with taxes. Well, a 40% gold advantage per minute happen or will continue to grow. Perhaps do a short post-game analysis on what the strategic plays and tactics won or lost the game. I can perhaps do that a little bit longer. Doing a post-game analysis, it does take me some time to remember everything, and it's not like I can easily replay my particular video to know what happens there. But yeah, maybe I can try to do that as an Ancient of War quickly going to get finished off here. Now, 48 supply compared to 63. The Fairy Dragon, anytime you have an air unit that is immune to magic, Breath of Fire, and any area effect damage doesn't work well against them. And because of that, this is why you can mass them without real fear. Alchemist still chasing after all of these units. 48 supply compared to 61. You're going to continue to see those units getting webbed down, but it's simply not enough. The Fairy Dragons are lower in supply, and that's the reason why you cannot get a 1-to-1 exchange between Fairy Dragons and Crypt Fiends. Continuing that fight once more, Death Knight could come across with a Death Coil. Let's see, Destroyers are still trying to pull back here. Chemical Raging units are chasing again, as we are looking at 120, still trying to come away with a decent escape plan. Web coming back down once more. Hippogriff Riders continuing to poke after all of those units, and you are splitting up this army as best as you can, but it is still not working out well, as this Destroyer down to 90 hit points will perhaps get taken down. Lich gonna be in trouble. No, gets a Death Coil in time. Are we gonna perhaps see a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability used as well? Obsidian Statue is in trouble, gonna get taken down to 78 hit points. Piercing damage trying to add up so much more, as the Obsidian Statue is still trying to head back. 43 supply compared to 59. And the army sizes are still relatively similar throughout this matchup, but the Alchemist almost gets taken down. Gonna lose a Crypt Fiend here. Alchemist is gonna be in a lot of trouble. Is gonna get taken out in time, and it looks as though the Alchemist is gonna get taken down. Alchemist taken down at the last split second. The Death Coil, the Frost Nova, able to take down the level 4 Alchemist. And is this the possible turnaround that 120 was looking for? All right, Lich sitting at level 5. No real reason to try to clear out these creeps, aside from the fact that it does give a little bit of gold and perhaps a little bit of some very powerful items indeed. However, the medium armor across all of these units means reduced damage from magic and piercing, which just happens to be exactly what 120 brought to this party. Crystal Ball quickly being used. Berserker, one more shot. There it goes. Gets taken down. Meanwhile, back down and cross over here. The Hippogriff Riders and the Mass Fairy Dragons with 0/0 upgrades still causing issues once more. Keeper the Grove sitting at level 5. Alchemist sitting at level 4. Ring of Regeneration replenishing many of those lost hit points, as the Lich, well, still low on mana, but a level 5 Lich and a level 5 Death Knight bring to the party a large amount of, well, hero nuking possibilities. Let's head back off to the north here. 47 supply compared to 63. A lot has been, well, invested into keeping this particular expansion alive. Meanwhile, an Acolyte now going back off to the north slowly but surely. Is the Keeper of the Grove going to be able to make it there? This massive air army going to come across here in just a moment. And what is happening here? All right, Death Coil, Frost Nova trying to take down some of those units. Lich now in trouble as we're looking at the Death Knight now turning back around. Destroyers could easily eat some of those Ents as the Ents are now chasing. Perhaps the Ents should not get that big of a movement speed bonus as the Chemical Raging Illusion Goblin now making its way out across. All right, a little bit more web again, trying to split that army once more. Obsidian Statue now trying to head back again as this illusion is still chasing after all of those units here. Hippogriff causing problems. Let's take a look. That Death Coil saves a Crypt Fiend right there. Another illusion causing chasing. And what is going on here? You don't know which hero is the actual real hero at all, so you don't really want to bother trying to nuke, as that you could just be wasting all of that precious mana. Destroyer still in this fight, down to 389 hit points, 317 trying to get away, still pulling back again. Mana Flare coming out, Mana Flare, Fairy Dragon is taken out. Crypt Fiend, another spot on Death Coil once more, and this is just turning into a crazy fight as the Crypt Fiends are, well, one of them is back on Blight. Hippogriff tries to make its way over, gonna get webbed down, it's gonna get finished off. 46 supply compared to 58. A Fairy Dragon could get taken down. There it goes. More are going to get taken down as well. And Moon is losing far too many units right now. 47 supply compared to 52. Economic advantage. Well, all of that experience has shifted back over. Lich is about halfway to level 6. Meanwhile, Death Knight is at level 6 with level 3 Unholy Aura. The faster movement speed is going to be key here in this battle. The fact that you can web down units and get away just slightly faster means that you have separated yourself from all of those units who are currently out of the fight. That an additional 2 or 3 seconds could be the difference as you see a big Frost Nova take down multiple units. All right, let's turn back around. There is a quick web pulling back one of those units. Are the Fairy Dragons going to try and engage here as one Hippogriff is going to maybe force to fight here? Let's take a look at this once again. Lich currently out of the fight. Destroyer trying to devour some mana. Crypt Fiend's now trying to back up here as well. We see a large army just chasing after those air units. The Crypt Fiend's able to web down units, and 120 is microing these units at a very effective rate, knowing when to cast web. It is not on auto cast to just try to burst it down and then perhaps spread back out as more of the trailing units are coming back in. You can take a look at that. All 3 of those units were webbed down pretty much instantaneously. Another spot on Death Coil, and really the micro play from 120 is at a next level right now as an Obsidian Statue finally gets taken down. 55 supply compared to 53. There is Blight off to the north. You could have tried to engage while on Blight, a slight advantage at this point, as the units are still heading back. Without enough Ziggurats and Spirit Towers, that wasn't enough of a home field advantage. As you see, he is still pulling back slowly but surely. There goes a Crypt Fiend, but there goes also some other units. Another spot on Death Coil. Those 600 hit point heals are causing problems left and right, and you can see multiple Fairy Dragons getting picked off. All right, all of a sudden, the Lich is going to get up to level 6 here, or perhaps get to level 6 here. You should not be casting that whatsoever, as there goes another Fairy Dragon. Beautiful play by 120. 120 now with a 14 supply advantage, as Acolytes are now shifting back off to the north. Why would the Acolytes even be moving there? I do not know. It is one base to one base right now, but that base will be gone in just a little bit. And 120 really getting more out of his units than Moon. It looked like Moon was winning the battle for, what, over 60%, 70% of this game, but it's finally flipped. Keeper of the Grove, Alchemist, has not really done any leveling up. There you see a couple of webs. It's going to force an engagement right here. Mana Flare on those Fairy Dragons. Destroyers are going to back off and say, do you want to chase me? One low hit point Crypt Fiend. Oh, are we going to see a Devour Magic? We should be looking at Devour Magic. There's a Death Coil. Focusing down some units, the Chemical Raging Goblin Alchemist trying to get into the front line as the lower hit point Crypt Fiends are backing up again. 57 supply compared to 43. 120 is in a great spot. There goes some more units. Lich at 150 mana. Is it actually going to try to go for Death and Decay, or did it? Nope, it actually went for Dark Ritual. A more Dark Ritual, being able to deny and being able to get Frost Nova onto some of those bigger units again, as the Fairy Dragons lose much of their armor. from that Orb of Corruption. Mana Flare onto the Death Knight. Death Knight gets up to level 7. Is the Death Knight actually going to go for what now? Is it actually going to go for Raise Dead? I don't believe there's actually any skeletons out and about. As we take a look, there goes the Tree of Life. Tree of Life may get taken down. Death Knight still in a very front position, and Moon is not going to be able to handle this with his current army. He is down on level, he is down in army, and this tactic of just bursting down in order to separate the army is working out far too well. You can take a look, 2 units in the back, they are not engaging, and a separated army is often a dead army if you're not engaging with all of it at once. Death Knight, Scroll of Healing, I believe, was used here. Meanwhile, Alchemist, down to 500 hit points, is going to be able to back out. Let's take a look at Death Coil. Nope, no Death Coil or Frost Nova onto the Keeper of the Grove. Keeper of the Grove going to get taken out, and that may be it, folks. There is the GG. Moon taking that game, or I'm losing that game. Actually, I got to rephrase that. 120 taking that game from Moon. Sometimes I say the person who was winning throughout the match threw away the game. That was not the case in this particular matchup here. 120 played excellently. He timed using tactics, was able to separate that air army, and even though he was retreating, he knew that the chasing army was always slightly smaller. And because of that, he could then engage on equal footing. And by slowly doing that and slowly wearing down his opponent, even though his opponent Moon had the resource advantage, you can take a look at it here. The amount of gold mined was significantly larger, and this is and gold lost to upkeep. Moon had a 4,000 or 3,000 gold advantage in this fight. So that's 5 minutes of mining that 120 had to make up, and he did it so well. The fact that he was able to get both of his heroes to their ultimate levels, even though we didn't see those ultimates, shows you that he was trading much more efficiently. Do you think Moon would have had a better chance if he went for some damage upgrades on his flyers? I think the main problem with Moon here is that Moon was in low upkeep for so long, but never got into the mid 70 range. That was the issue here. If you're going to get taxed, right, and you're going to get taxed that same percentage, make sure you are in the 70s. Having an additional 2 to 3 units out onto the field is probably a larger damage upgrade than, say, tier 1 weapon upgrades at that point. I'd have to do side-by-side number comparisons, but it seemed like that would be the case, especially considering the fact that the army was constantly getting split with web, right? Oh, my army was upgraded, but still half of my army was unable to engage. If you had 2 extra Hippogriff Riders, that's 2 more that are actually doing the chase, as opposed to saying I had 2-0 upgrades or 2-2 upgrades, but still my army was split in half because of web. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.